On the night of February 2nd, 1990, punk legend Henry Rollins booked City Gardens as one stop on a tour of his spoken word material. Opening for Rollins was Ween, who played to mixed reactions.
Dude, man! What's the proverb, asshole? What are you saying? What? Drums? Who are you? Hey, that's Papa Gene Ween, you fucker! Hey, man! Come on!
Despite the onslaught of hecklers, Ween soldiered on, finishing out their 9-song set before swiftly packing up, much to the relief of a very vocal portion of the crowd. But Henry Rollins had seen Ween's set, and when he took to the stage, he had a message for the audience.
You know what? I was thinking, I was standing back by the bar watching Ween fucking kick out the hard jams, treating it like a fucking seminar. Oh, I see that we have a mixed reaction in the crowd. Now, there probably are a few of you who don't like Ween. My suggestion is that you start liking them now, so years from now, when you all are shelling out $25 each, gladly, to go see them at the Spectrum, you'll be able to say, oh yeah, man, I was kicking back in Trenton City Gardens about 8 months ago when they were small before their rocket to stardom. I remember I saw them kicking, You Fucked Up and Tick. Yeah, I remember. I bumped into one of those guys once. I mean, I touched Mickey Ween, I actually talked to him. And you see, there will always be detractors. There will always be someone to deny true genius.
To the people in the crowd that night, having just seen Ween perform songs like Papa Zit and Common Bitch while wearing outlandish costumes, Rollins' diatribe must have seemed sort of dubious. But over the next few years, Ween would prove themselves to be one of the most celebrated and innovative bands of the 90s and 2000s. And yes, they did get a drummer.
What? Drums?
Oh, we're Ween.
What's a Ween?
We're bad,
Out of nowhere, out of the total musical vacuum, out of total darkness, comes one ray of light. And it's fucking Ween.
After signing Ween in 1989, Twin Tone A&R rep Dave Ayers became the band's manager, and would remain so through at least 1994, despite the band changing labels twice during that time. If nothing else, Dave Ayers knew talent when he saw it. That year, Ween began to record their debut studio album. After much deliberation, Andrew Weiss was chosen to produce. For context, Weiss was the co-founder of Trenton indie label Bird of Prey, which had released 4 of Ween's cassettes. This partnership came after Dean hounded label head Jeff Rusnak, quote, every day until he invited Ween to his apartment. Besides Bird of Prey, Weiss served as the bassist of Regressive Aid, and later, in Rollins' band. The majority of the album's recording sessions took place in Andrew's living room on a 16-track, which must have seemed like quite the upgrade from the 4-track machines Ween were used to until that point. During the recording process, to back the usual guitar and vocals, Weiss contributed bass parts, while Diener played drums. The track list of this new album consisted of 26 songs, which were, according to Dean, a greatest hits of sorts for the band's formative years. Despite featuring re-recorded versions of many songs from their Bird of Prey cassettes, the album turned out to be less abstract than their previous efforts, with more of a focus on songwriting rather than texture, shall we say. After nearly a year of recording, Ween's first studio album was finished, and on November 16th, 1990, GodWeenSatan, The Oneness, was released on cassette, CD, and vinyl.
How about that? All right, Jim. Enough.
According to Dean, the album was recorded and sequenced with the vinyl release in mind, and as a result, the original 1990 CD release was subpar, or as Diener so eloquently put it, totally fucked. The band would revisit the album in 2001 with acclaimed producer Howie Weinberg to remaster the album for a CD re-release.
My name is Howie Weinberg. I am one of the top mastering engineers probably on the planet.
In addition to the remaster, 3 outtakes from the GodWeenSatan sessions were added to the track list, and the package was dubbed the 25th Anniversary Edition, despite only being a decade old. This is the version you'll find on modern streaming services. You might be wondering what the deal with the album's title is. What is GodWeenSatan, The Oneness, and what does it have to do with licking the palm for guava, or a marble tulip juicy tree? For answers, we have to dig deeper.
The wind is whispering, and time is rolling by.
Ween introduced themselves to the world in a 1990 twin-tone press release, a veritable manifesto. For the sake of history, I feel like I need to share this text in its entirety. This was, after all, the introduction for many people to the lore of Ween, and for lack of a better term, this was the 1990 version of History of Ween, the cassette years. Feel free to skip to the next chapter at any point. Ween plays gospel music. Ween is here to spread the word of their lord demon god Boognish. Boognish appeared first to Ween in 1984, when Dean and Jean were 14 years old. They, Dean and Jean, were not friends, and they shared little in common. Upon the first sighting, Boognish communicated to them what had to be done, and later that day, Ween recorded onto tape the holy picture that he had painted for the two boys. He has since appeared only twice, once to punish Jean for trying to leave the band, the other time, Ween will not discuss. Since the apparition first appeared, Ween have recorded, legitimately, over 1,000 songs, and they have not even yet begun to accomplish their task of spreading his name on their earth. Ween ate dinner with Harrison Ford once, and he thought they were dicks. God is sinless and humane, so is Satan, and Jean claims to hold the balance between the two. Ween still don't really like one another, and at times, one must really wonder why they're still together after all these years. When you witness the obvious dislike between the two, and ask them why they haven't split, Jean starts to cry, remembering what happened in his last moment of weakness. Diener is too stupid to quit. Many people don't know about Ween yet, but those who do are more loyal than any deadhead. GodWeenSatan, The Oneness will make you question the duality of man. At moments you will be pleading to God for forgiveness, and at other times you will feel the need to suffer for your most holy Satan. Don't be confused, this strange phenomenon is the power of the Boognish taking control of your soul. You need not be scared. There's nothing wrong with these feelings. You are experiencing the common vision that brought Dean and Jean together and keeps them from breaking up. There's nothing you can do. You can put the CD on random play and the same tears of love and hate will fall from your eyes no matter what sequence the songs are in. In the event that it becomes too much for you, Ween has listed their address on the record so you can write for guidance. Don't bother the people at Twin Tone when your new road to self-discovery leaves you confused. Just follow your soul, and he will help you find the road. Whoa. GodWeenSatan begins with an early live fan favorite, You F***ed Up, a blistering punk assault on a girl who seems to have in some way wronged Jeaner. She also happens to be a Nazi. Songs like Tick, I'm in the Mood to Move, I Got the Weasel, Fat Lenny, Cold and Wet, and Bumblebee are fun noise rock numbers that I love dearly, but I'm honestly not sure how to describe them, so I'll leave that for you to discover. I'm in the Mood is notable for featuring the first Verisped vocals on a Ween studio album, which quickly became a hallmark of the band's style.
We in the mood to do our thing right now, more hey now.
Verispeed is an analog recording technique used to alter pitch by changing the playback speed of a tape. In the 20th century, pop songs were often sped up to sound punchier, and doom metal was slowed down to sound doomier. Ween would often pitch up an instrumental, sing to it, then shift the whole thing back down to the original pitch, resulting in the deep, resonant vocals that can be heard on songs like Tried and True
I see the light in you.
and Ocean Man.
Soaking up the thirst of the land, ocean man.
This technique also works in reverse, as seen on songs like Don't Laugh, I Love You. Don't Laugh, I Love You is an oddly sweet song in comparison with the track list so far, showcasing Jeaner's more sensitive side. Could this be the girl from the album opener? One can only speculate. Never Squeal and Up on the Hill introduced jazz and doo-wop into the album's genre repertoire. Up on the Hill also happens to be one of the few times Ween lyrically mentioned boognish on a studio album. Wayne's Pet Youngin' is a blistering punk track, and another holdover from Ween's cassette releases. It also features a count-in of not 4, not 3, but 25. Other notable tracks include Nicole, a 9.5-minute dub track, El Camino, another live fan favorite, Nan, which features vocals from a beloved Jeaner character named Eddie Dingle, LMLYP, an epic Prince-inspired sex anthem, and Birthday Boy. Birthday Boy is the most earnest song on GodWeenSatan, and it's also an all-time fan favorite. The version on the album is heavily distorted, possibly an attempt at distracting the listener from the rawness of the lyrics.
This next song is, it's called, Birthday Boy, and I wrote it on my birthday. It's about this, girl that I went out with for a while, and she moved to California, and I was really sad.
But live and stripped down, the song's true beauty is revealed.
I'll be around, I'll be in town, if you need a place to stay.
After the final chorus, a voicemail from Jeaner's aunt can be heard, wishing him a happy 20th birthday. It's a rare moment of vulnerability in the midst of an irony-laden debut, and must have been surprising for Ween fans in 1990. At the end of the track, you can also hear a sample of Pink Floyd's Echoes bleeding through. This cements a pattern of behavior for GodWeenSatan, with LMLYP interpolating Prince's Shockadelica and Alphabet Street, El Camino interpolating Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit, and Birthday Boy sampling Echoes, allegedly due to Ween reusing cassettes, much like taping over your daughter's ballet recital with the Powerball
Automatically
results.
a winner when you pick the Powerball tonight. It is number 24. 24.
In these early days, Ween played pretty fast and loose with copyright law, a habit stretching all the way back to Jeaner putting the entirety of Kiss's Rock and Roll All Night at the end of a Synthetic Socks cassette. In an interview with CBC Radio during the Pure Guava era, Ween explained that they were kind of hoping someone would sue, just so that they knew the music industry had noticed them.
Actually, we were really hoping to get sued. That was the whole gist.
That was on the side, yeah. I wanted to get sued too.
Yeah, well, there's some note there about how Ween's in big trouble or something like that on the liner notes.
We were just trying to instigate the lawsuit. It never happened, though. He just ignored us.
But that's the great thing about GodWeenSatan. There's an anarchic quality to it, a certain metal-up-your-ass attitude. Just a couple of kids making the music they want, without any fear of fallout. And ultimately, I think that's the heart of Ween. On release, GodWeenSatan did about as well as you would expect. While no sales numbers are available online, I think it's safe to say the album didn't do hotcakes numbers. It did, however, more than satiate the small but ever-growing fan base. It was a huge step forward for the band in songwriting, performance quality, and production value. It also earned an illustrious B+ from Entertainment Weekly. Wait, David Brown? In December, Ween set out on their GodWeenSatan tour, which lasted 7 months over 3 legs. They started in familiar New Jersey, then flew to Europe for 11 shows in the Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, England, and Hungary, before finally landing stateside in late February. These international shows were a strange experience for Ween.
We played in Budapest, and it was about the weirdest.
It was in like it was like
a wine cellar.
If you can imagine like a sewer cavern with like a cave over you, you know,
like
and
where
the speakers,
Chud was filmed.
right? And the speakers, every time the bass would go off in the speakers, the ceiling would start to chip. So you had all this like dust chipped, like the whole room was full of like Dracula-looking people in big Russian hats.
They just didn't know what the hell was going on. We had our tape deck and
Budapest, I'll tell you, it was really intense.
England's a big toilet. Yeah, England just sucks.
No, England doesn't suck.
It does so suck.
No,
man.
England doesn't suck. England has...
Okay, tell me 3 good things about England.
Stonehenge...
And don't say beer, yeah.
Stonehenge, beer,
Punk rock.
No.
Regardless of the quality of those shows, this was the start of Ween's presence internationally. Though overseas shows were a relative rare feat for the band in the early days, and certainly in the 2010s and beyond, the hallowed few were usually well attended and met with near religious enthusiasm. This appreciation only grew with the spread of the internet and access to the band's discography from anywhere in the world. Today, Ween is a worldwide phenomenon, even if phenomenon is written in lowercase. After getting their bearings back in the US, Ween set out once more, playing 14 shows across 6 states. Notably, one show saw Gene and Dean take the stage at CBGB in New York City, a legendary venue where artists like the Ramones, Blondie, Television, Patti Smith, Madonna, and Talking Heads got their start, among many others. Another show, which was for some reason billed as the Green-Lipped Muscle Show, saw Dave Drywitz fill in on bass duty.
Hey there, it's Dave Drywitz from Ween. I just bought this beautiful Rickenbacker from Music Store Live. Ben, Brandon, and Steve will take good care of you, so I highly recommend it.
That night, Diener discovered that Dave knew Claude Coleman from Skunk. Small world. Small world indeed. After the tour wrapped up, Ween headed back to their new digs, a dilapidated house on a horse farm outside of New Hope. This unlikeliest of places would become Ween's new home base. It was a living space, a recording studio, and a locale for all manner of drug-fueled debauchery. Its name was The Pod.
My brain is dead from too much pot, 'cause Diener and I smoke too much pot. Cloudy, cloudy.